Hi there, I'm Lana Monday Emmett, and today I'm presenting to you my study created as part of the capstone of sorts for our Mixed Methods research class. It is titled A Mixed Methods Approach to Investigating Older Teen and Young Adult Engagement with Nonprofit Organizations on Social Media. The idea for this research stemmed from a problem that a nonprofit organization with which I'm affiliated with is experiencing. Imagine working with a group that successfully raises substantial amounts of money, but experiences difficulty in finding individuals to give that money to. This is the dilemma currently being experienced by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. For those of you not familiar with Napoleon Hill, he was an author born in Pound, Virginia. He's been credited with authoring one of the best-selling professional development books titled Think and Grow Rich, originally published in 1937. The foundation created by Hill in the 1960s was designed to give back to the community by fostering and supporting education. It raises money through the sale of books, endorsements, professional development certification programs, and other associated endeavors. The foundation exists to provide financial assistance to college students as its mission, and it's focused on the generation of scholarships, funding professor endowments, and providing dual enrollment college classes to high school students. To begin, there is a substantial amount of existing literature that discusses how Generation Z engages in online social behavior. For example, a Pew Research study found that this group engages more frequently through liking, commenting, posting, and sharing content about the need for change more so than any other group. In a different study on declining attendance at art museums, the researchers found that aesthetic impression that can be created by taking a unique selfie at a museum was almost as important as the experience of visiting the museum itself. So that tells us that Generation Z has new attitudes toward just about everything, ranging from speech to organizational hierarchy. Likewise, there is a substantial amount of literature focused on mixed methods research, exploring everything from expediting privacy practices when recruiting for studies on Facebook to academic communities using social media to communicate with students. So, there are many organizations that miss the mark on strategic messaging. The problem in this instance is that the foundation's social media communities do not connect with those who benefit from it most, members of the Generation Z population ages 16 to 25. This project focuses on finding the answer to two research questions. Question number one is, what styles of content and strategies are successfully being utilized by nonprofit organizations to engage teens and young adults? And question number two, of these content styles and strategies, which ones have the most significant appeal to the desired demographic? The study incorporates a mixed methods approach, beginning with a qualitative survey to identify two nonprofit organizations that engage the desired demographic as well as content that appeals to this segment of the population. This is followed by a quantitative content analysis to evaluate the strategies and content styles used by the two identified nonprofit organizations suggested to successfully engage Generation Z on social media. Because surveys are flexible and offer the opportunity to have a wider reach, this is the method that was chosen as the qualitative portion of the project. Research question two is better suited to qualitative research as it focuses on acquiring feedback regarding content styles and strategies that have the most significant appeal to this demographic. A list of 17 questions was developed and then reviewed for clarity prior to distribution. The survey was the first phase of the study to be administered for the generation of qualitative data that would facilitate the study in two ways. First, 4 open-ended survey questions investigated student involvement with nonprofit organizations, both in person and online, to aid in the identification of two groups for the additional quantitative research. The second desired outcome was to gather data as it related to the types of content that the target demographic viewed as engaging. The final draft of the survey was created in a Google form and emailed to 4 facilitators. 2 were professors, one at a private institution, one at a public college, and 2 high school teachers at different high schools. Each facilitator was asked to randomly select 4 students from their classes to participate in the survey. All schools were within a 60-mile radius of the Napoleon Hill Foundation's headquarters. Responses were recorded, entered into Word documents, and then coded. So for the quantitative portion of the study, based on the feedback from the surveys, 2 nonprofit organizations were selected on which to perform the content analysis, and they were St. Jude's Research Hospital and the American Cancer Society. It was theorized that due to the very nature of the platform itself attracting specific demographic group users, it was likely that social media feeds would originate on Instagram or TikTok, which in fact was the case. So multiple posts were analyzed for hashtags, media type, time of post, branding, and other insightful data. The data collection covered a span of 24 days, and the findings of both data sets were compared for alignment to the research questions, as well as for discussion on which to consider potential recommendations for the foundation. The qualitative method provided insight into the actions of the desired demographic group that cannot otherwise be obtained through quantitative data alone. Based on the content analysis of both the nonprofits on Instagram and TikTok, neither one of these actually exhibited overwhelming engagement numbers. So using a mixed methods approach, it actually enriched the data gathering process and strengthened support for incorporating significant use of TikTok and Instagram to reach Generation Z demographic. This was seen in the quantitative portion of the study. So based strictly on the quantitative method, there was not substantial evidence of engagement with the target demographic. The 2 pieces of information that were actually confirmed by this study is number 1, that students in Generation Z prefer to obtain their information from Instagram and TikTok. I know that's not a surprise. And the second is that they prefer video, which again, not a surprise. Some of the limitations to the study included the lack of depth within the content analysis, because the initial proposal started out being a 10-day duration and had to be expanded to 24 days, but it still did not create an adequate quantity on which to base accurate assumptions. And second, qualitative results would have been more accurate had we had a larger sample size. And then finally, because of the lack of time, there were a whole lot of additional points within the survey that could have been fleshed out further, but we could not get to them. So in summary, the project, it was a first step to potentially bridging the gap between Generation Z and the Napoleon Hill Foundation as a means to see its scholarship opportunities fully utilized. So thanks for taking time to view this video, and I look forward to learning about more of each of your endeavors as well, and have a great weekend.